The music played on in Cassie's ears. Her mind bounced along with the beat, punctuating each step. She waved at those that looked her way. Cassie paid no mind to the direction, as she had travelled this way hundreds of times. The route itself bore into her, infecting her dreams each night. Only the smallest part of her mind needed to think about the route. She slowed as the bridge came into view on the horizon.
"Hello again,"
she muttered. Cassie felt the words, remembered every single time she'd greeted the bridge. With the horizon full of the waves, Cassie knew the bridge slept soundly, not a soul out of place, as the few cars who drove across it did so, oblivious to the stories around it. She knew. Cassie made her way to the middle of the massive bridge. The music in her ears became just a background noise to the waters below. True, Cassie couldn't hear the waves passing under the bridge, but she could see them. She could see the water flow by the concrete, knew the sound of it coming so close to her, even with the wind slithering around the metal railing.
"Hello again."
Cassie heard the voice through her earphones. It engulfed the music until the 80s tunes were left as little more than quiet static in the air. Cassie's hands shot for her phone. The music still played. Her Bluetooth came through as her own earphones, and no one had called. She tried to bring the voice up again.
"Is someone there?"
Cassie looked around her. She stood alone on the bridge, the nearest people shooting by her in cars.
"I am here."
The last dregs of music slipped away into the quiet.
"Here."
Cassie heard the voice. No. Hearing wasn't accurate. You didn't hear voices in a dream, not really. The voice rang in her thoughts, soft and powerful all at once.
"I know you wish to find her. Do not be afraid, Cassie Blackwood. I can take you to her."
"Who are you?"
She felt a tug at her very being, a call to come below the bridge. Cassie frantically searched down the length of the bridge for a way below. An urge pushed at her. Jump, jump, jump. She ignored it, instead running back the way she came to the shore, where the man-made beauty of the bridge ended and the land sculpted the scene again.
"I am waiting for you, Miss Blackwood. She is waiting."
The urge returned. Leap, Cassie, just as she did.
"Why can't I see you?"
she called out. Cassie focused on her words.
"You will see me. It is a calm day, one best enjoyed closer to the water."
Cassie skidded down the bank to the water's edge. While the bridge stood as a monolith across the water, all things started somewhere. The roots of the bridge still had concrete platforms to walk on. Rusted safety signs hung above a door, locked for so long that the dust did little to distinguish what were the legs of the bridge and what was the door frame. The bridge loomed above her. Under it, in the shade, she still felt the urge to dive.
"Where are you?"
Cassie paced the concrete. She watched the rippling water closely, as if waiting for someone to reach for her. As the water settled, the reflection plucked her away from the urge to jump. She touched her cheek. Truth be told, Cassie Blackwood rarely liked to see her reflection, though not for any issue with her looks. Rather, she avoided wondering if her own looks crept onto anyone else's face. Cassie saw the bags on her eyes and hoped that her mother had the same tiredness etched on her face.
"You can see her, Cassie. She is alive and well. All you have to do is follow."
A harsh ring shot through her ears. Cassie leapt back, almost taking a newcomer with her off the small concrete land. The ring turned to a soft buzz in her earphones. It faded into a warmth like earmuffs without the weight. "Keep away from the edge," said a man as he swept across the water's edge. Without turning, he held a hand out to keep Cassie back.
What's going on?
A fog lifted from her head. She tried to recall the voice, the feeling of it speaking, but felt a small pain in the back of her neck. "You shouldn't be here."
I heard a voice.
The man's head snapped around. "Not you. Please stay back." Cassie felt the voice. She couldn't understand the words or even hear them in any sense, but she knew that the voice spoke. "Enough," the man grumbled. "You have no business here." Cassie stepped forward cautiously.
There is a voice.
She reached for her earphones. "Don't think about yet." The man turned around. Short black hair sat atop a rough oval face. His long nose dragged most of his face towards it. He scratched his chin in a long single stroke from the top of his chin to the edge of his black shirt. "What's your name?" Cassie snapped to attention.
Why?
The man took a deep breath and outstretched a hand. "I'm the doctor."
Cassie Blackwood.
He took her hand firmly and shook once. "It is nice to meet you. You heard a voice from the water, correct?"
How did you know?
"I can hear lots of things. The perks of being a doctor, I suppose. My question is, what was it saying to you?" His expression hardened as he turned back to the water. "I will get to you in a moment." Cassie peered over his shoulder. The water lapped against the concrete in a calming metronome with no reflection.
My mother. It told me I could see my mother again.
The doctor steepled his fingers. "Your mother?"
She went missing when I was a toddler.
He closed his eyes. "What I am going to do is done with all the resent I can manage at the moment." The doctor took out a metal rod from his pocket. Aiming it at the water, he pressed it with a look that could burn. It buzzed and the water began to boil, but just in one spot. Before Cassie could question, the voice returned.
Please stop.
She heard the voice. It slipped through her earphones, but Cassie Blackwood heard the voice as clear as the doctor's anger. "You have two choices. You may stay in the water and keep quiet for your life, leaving humanity alone. Or you can take the less pleasant option."
My species live for hundreds of years.
"That is not an answer." Cassie pulled the doctor back. She peered over the water's edge and into the glowing eyes of what lurked beneath the surface.
Hello?
Cassie Blackwood,
The voice cooed.
I did mean what I said.
How did you know? How do you know my name?
The voice kept quiet.
Tell me.
Because you know it.
What?
The doctor pulled her away from the water. His tone softened. "It got inside your head. Whatever was most prominent in your thoughts as you walked by, it could see it. Telepathy at a personal level. I'm so sorry, Miss Blackwood."
Leave.
Cassie growled.
I do not understand.
"Leave," echoed the doctor. "Earth is big. I don't know how you ended up here, but you may stay if you leave humanity alone. I will be watching you." Silence. The water stopped boiling. The doctor let out a sigh far older than he looked.
It's gone.
He nodded. "Indeed. Psychic intimidation."
The voice?
"Myself. You did well against it." He slipped the metal rod back in his pocket. "I felt the same urge you must have, the desire to jump into the water. I'm impressed. Not bad for a human." Cassie let out an uncomfortable chuckle.
As opposed to you?
The doctor grinned before striding away from the concrete platform.
Where are you going?
He walked up the bank, hands still in his pocket. "A direction opposite to you. I suggest you, Miss Blackwood, get home and have a nice cup of tea." Cassie bounded after him.
You can't just leave me here.
"That would imply we came together. We did not." The doctor sauntered across the bridge. Cassie followed, but kept herself back, matching his pace beat for beat. Time slowed to a crawl, and she kept her eyes on the doctor. She glanced at the water below. Cassie thought she caught the glowing eyes for a moment, but when she stopped, she found the sunlight dancing on the water's surface. She tore her eyes away from the ocean. Despite wanting to keep a distance, Cassie found herself speeding up. He strode along towards a blue box on the other side. Once inside, Cassie rushed up to it. She circled it, one way in, one way out. Cassie felt the wood. She'd seen a police box like it in a museum a while back, except slimmer. A warmth pulsated through her hand, causing Cassie to back away. People around her carried on, never minding the strange person flinching from a box. Cassie took a deep breath and opened the door. Inside, the box went on, ignoring every rule of reality. Railings led from a small platform with the door up to another where the familiar figure of the Doctor stood by a hexagonal console with more lights and a Christmas cheer. A spiral column moved gently up and down the centre of the console. 5 other platforms, similar to where Cassie stood, branched out from one in the middle. Smiling, Cassie marched forward, closing the door behind her. The moment it clicked shut, a grand rumble reverberated from the centre of the expansive room.
Easy there.
Cassie called out before she could stop herself. The Doctor spun around. "What are you doing here?"
What is here?
countered Cassie.
This place is impossible.
"Count that as 2 impossible things you've seen today." She bounded up to the centre platform.
But this one is way more beautiful.
Amidst the slow wheezing, the console let out a soft chirp. "Don't take the compliment," the Doctor grumbled. "She still shouldn't be here." Cassie raised an eyebrow.
Who are you talking to?
"The 3rd impossible thing you've seen today." He crossed his arms and leaned back on the console. "This is my ship, the TARDIS."
Ship? What kind of ship? How do you fit all this in a small box?
Cassie noticed a small grin appear briefly on the Doctor's expression. "She is a master of time and space. That should answer both of your questions." She gripped the railing behind her tight. Cassie became torn between the need to gush about the ship, the impossibilities that came to her, or to collapse from it all, to drown or to swim. "Tea or coffee?" The Doctor's voice softened. "It's a lot to take in." Cassie's reply stuck in her throat. "I do believe I have a biscuit button somewhere around here if you want." He relaxed his arms. "Tell me about your mother."
My mother?
"You said earlier that the voice said you could see your mother again. How did she pass?"
She didn't.
Cassie snapped.
My mom is alive. I just don't know where she is.
"What happened?" Cassie felt the age in the Doctor's voice.
My dad said she had demons.
She steeled herself before pushing herself off the railing.
You are avoiding spacey topic. Who are you?
"As I told you before, I am the Doctor."
Doctor Who?
"Pretty much. Just call me the Doctor." The wheezing stopped. She touched the still warm console, the lights brightening where she placed her hand.
You're impossible.
"If everything is impossible, surely nothing is." Cassie paused.
You're right.
"I usually am."
Show me.
"What?" As Cassie approached, the Doctor took an unsteady step back.
Show me the impossible.
"I can't just drag a stowaway around time and space," the Doctor replied with wavering confidence.
Why not? You saved me from jumping in the ocean. You did.
The column let out a cheerful chirp.
What?
"Ah. Well, I apparently did drag a stowaway through time and space. And outside those doors is somewhere completely different." Cassie bounded back down the stairs.
Where?
The Doctor stumbled as he rushed to follow. "I'm not sure. Someone was distracting me while I was making some final tweaks." Her hand stopped just short of the handle as she thought back to the voice.
Will it be dangerous?
"Bluntly, Miss Blackwood, more often than not it is very dangerous. So let me take you home."
I know.
She gripped the handle tightly. The Doctor's hand shot over hers. "Okay, if you insist, then we will go together." Cassie nodded.
Just stay close so you don't get hurt.
"I beg your pardon?" Together, they opened the door.